So please return your signed pledge of support along with your most generous gift. Every dollar will help support our unprecedented growth and continue our campus tours, blah, blah, blah. Charlie gave everything he had to save our country, and we will too, blah, blah, blah. This is about this organization wanting more money from college students, of all people too, because no one likes Erika, bro. Whether you think she had a foreknowledge or not, just surface level, no one likes her. She's not likable.
Y'all, they are top-notch grifters. Look at this. It's just asking you.
Take a close look at this, because it has sparked a lot of discussion online. Right here is a fundraising letter asking for money, and what really caught people's attention was the way it was put together. It even arrived with a prepaid return envelope, giving it an official appearance and making it easy to send something back. The letter reads, "Dear Erika, you have my deepest and most sincere support. I am truly honored to stand alongside you." For many readers, that wording felt unusually formal and emotional for a standard fundraising request. Some even said it sounded more like an appeal for personal loyalty than a typical donation letter, leaving them with plenty of questions about its overall tone. The request for donations quickly became another major talking point. Critics questioned why supporters were being encouraged to make such a strong personal commitment to Erika Kirk when many people feel they still know very little about her.
TPUSA, since Charlie was killed, just so you guys know this is a fact, has made more than $100 million.
Others pointed to past public debates and conflicting accounts that have fueled ongoing conversations online. Then there's the phrase, "I am honored to stand alongside you." For some readers, those words raised another question. Stand alongside her in support of what exactly? Without additional context, many felt the message sounded broad and open to interpretation. As the conversation continued, some commentators argued that the letter placed too much focus on one individual instead of the broader mission. That opinion spread rapidly across social media, where users debated whether the language crossed the line from ordinary fundraising into something much more personal. Then, another claim began making headlines. According to posts shared online, similar fundraising letters were reportedly sent to people who had never been connected with TPUSA. Even more surprising, several social media users claimed that letters had also been mailed to individuals who had passed away. Those posts quickly gained attention and added another layer to an already heated public discussion. One of the most widely shared examples came from a user on X, who posted photos showing letters addressed to the user's grandfather. According to the post, the grandfather had passed away 5 years earlier, yet a fundraising letter still arrived in his name. The caption stated, "My grandfather died 5 years ago. Today, Erika Kirk still sent him a letter asking for money."
You know what I'm sick and tired of? I'm sick and tired of this. So, I got these back-to-back weeks, by the way, like back-to-back weeks. So let's read the first one. Dear friend, we are Charlie Kirk. That's the message thousands of Americans are carrying out, blah, blah, blah. And then it says, if you would like one of these wristbands, blah, 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 your gift would honor Charlie's legacy to fuel Turning Point USA's fight to protect the liberty of all our people. And then it gives you a thing to write a check and send money.
The images spread quickly, prompting many online users to question how outdated mailing lists are maintained and whether enough safeguards are in place to prevent situations like this. For many observers, the incident shifted the conversation away from the wording of the letter itself and toward the broader issue of fundraising practices. People began asking why appeals would continue reaching households where the intended recipient was no longer living. Others suggested that outdated public records or mailing databases could sometimes lead to situations like these, while critics argued that organizations should regularly update their lists to avoid causing unnecessary distress to families. The discussion also led many people to remind friends and relatives, especially older family members, to carefully review any unexpected fundraising requests before sending money. Taking a moment to verify who is requesting support, understanding where donations are going, and making informed decisions can help avoid confusion. As more information continues to emerge and public conversations develop, many viewers say they are waiting for additional facts before reaching firm conclusions, while continuing to debate what these letters may reveal about the fundraising process itself. According to posts shared online, the discussion didn't stop there. Another user replied, claiming they had received one of these fundraising letters addressed to their late mother. That comment quickly drew attention, And soon more people joined the conversation with similar stories.
Because no one likes Erika, bro. Whether you think she had foreknowledge or not, just surface level, no one likes her. She's not likable. She's not furthering Charlie's mission. She's extremely suspicious, and she's not a likable person. So the fact that in the AI video, they used AI to say, oh, I appoint my wife to turning point if anything happened to me. Totally AI. So the fact that they want money from us still after the millions and millions and millions and millions of dollars they made, especially right after his death, about Erika bragging about hat orders and stuff.
But what surprised many observers even more was that the reports weren't limited to mail sent to people who had passed away. A growing number of users claimed they had never attended a TPUSA event, never signed up for emails, and never knowingly interacted with the organization. Even so, they said they still received a personalized letter from Erika. One user uploaded a photo of the letter they received from Erika Kirk, showing exactly what had arrived in their mailbox. According to the post, the letter asked for donations to help continue Charlie's mission. The person explained that this was the same letter they had received that very day and wanted others to know they weren't making the story up. They also stated that they had never donated to TPUSA and had no idea how their name and home address had ended up on the mailing list. That claim quickly fueled even more online discussion, with many people wondering how the organization's mailing database had been assembled. As more examples surfaced, the questions only grew louder. People began asking why some households were receiving fundraising requests despite having no known connection to the organization. Others wondered whether outdated public records, commercially available mailing lists, or other data sources could explain the situation. While no clear answer emerged, the uncertainty became a major topic across social media, with users comparing their own experiences and looking for similarities. Many critics also questioned the overall approach behind the fundraising campaign.
Yeah, I quit for a reason, and it's because they're scammers. They want our money after all of this. So how about some transparency? I'm disgusted, honestly. This isn't some like, oh my gosh, Mason, you're like complaining about... No. I'm disgusted to my stomach because I stand for that. I stand for this. I stand for Charlie's mission, and these people make me sick. Andrew Colvett, Blake Neff, Erika Kirk, Jack Posobiec, you all make me sick to my stomach.
They argued that if the reports being shared online were accurate, organizations should take extra care to ensure their mailing lists are regularly updated and that outreach reaches the intended recipients. Others emphasized that these claims remain part of an ongoing public discussion and deserve careful review before firm conclusions are drawn. Even so, the growing number of posts kept the conversation alive and encouraged more people to share their own experiences. The controversy didn't end with the letters themselves. It soon expanded into broader online discussions about TPUSA and how the organization manages outreach and communication. Various claims and theories began circulating across social media, with users raising additional questions about internal operations and public messaging. These discussions have generated significant debate online, although many of the claims remain unverified and continue to be the subject of public speculation. Another point that attracted attention involved Erika's mother, Laura Fransby. Online commentators pointed to her role within the organization and discussed whether it could provide additional context for some of the decisions being debated publicly. While those conversations continue across social media, many details remain disputed, and supporters and critics alike continue offering different interpretations. As more information becomes available, the public conversation surrounding these claims is likely to continue evolving. The more this story unfolds, the more attention shifts towards superfeed technologies and the role it may play in the bigger picture.
It's just asking me for money with a return envelope, but look what it says. It says, "Dear Erika, yes, you have my total heartfelt support. I am honored to stand by your side." That sounds like a cult. Not even like when you get like your church mail, you know, and they ask for a donation, like, yes, you have my total heartfelt support. What does that mean?
Throughout this discussion, one company has continued appearing alongside TPUSA in conversations across social media and public reporting. That company is Superfeed Technologies, and for many observers, its reported connections have become one of the most closely watched aspects of the entire situation. While the headlines have often focused on fundraising letters, public reactions, and Erika Kirk, a growing number of people believe the business relationships behind the scenes deserve just as much attention. They argue that understanding those connections may help explain why this story has generated so much debate in such a short period of time. One of the points that has drawn the most interest is the reported business relationship between Superfeed Technologies and Turning Point USA. Public reports have stated that Turning Point Action, an affiliated organization, directed funding towards Superfeed. That financial connection has led many commentators to ask additional questions about how the organizations work together and what role technology plays in their broader strategy. While business partnerships between organizations are not unusual on their own, many online observers believe this particular relationship deserves a closer look because of the discussions surrounding data collection and digital outreach. Another topic that has repeatedly surfaced involves TPUSA's mobile applications. According to publicly discussed information, Superfeed has been associated with technology that supports digital engagement through these apps. Like many modern applications, they may collect certain categories of user information as described in their privacy policies. Even so, critics have questioned how that information is managed, what data is collected, and how those systems fit into the organization's overall operations. Those questions have continued circulating online, with supporters and critics offering very different interpretations of the available information. For some people following this story, the concern isn't about one single app or one single partnership. Instead, it's about the combination of everything we've discussed throughout this video. First came the fundraising letters. Then came reports from individuals claiming they had no previous connection to the organization, despite receiving personalized mail. After that, social media filled with posts from families claiming letters had been addressed to relatives who were no longer living. Whether those situations resulted from outdated mailing databases or another explanation, they added another layer to an already active public conversation. Then, attention shifted toward the organizations themselves. People started examining corporate relationships, nonprofit structures, affiliated groups, and technology partners. Instead of focusing only on the emotional side of the story, many observers began asking practical questions. How are outreach campaigns organized? How are mailing lists maintained? How do affiliated organizations work together? And what role do technology companies play in helping manage communication with supporters? Those questions became just as important as the original fundraising debate. At the same time, others have urged caution before reaching sweeping conclusions. They point out that online discussions often move much faster than verified information, and that claims shared across social media should always be evaluated carefully. That distinction matters. Throughout any rapidly developing story, opinions, assumptions, and confirmed facts can easily become mixed together. Looking at publicly available information while remaining open to new evidence is often the most balanced approach. Still, it's understandable why so many people continue paying close attention. When multiple discussions begin overlapping from fundraising practices to mailing lists, business partnerships, technology platforms, and public leadership, the story naturally becomes more complicated. Each new detail encourages another round of questions, and each question sends more people searching for additional answers. That's exactly what has happened here. Rather than fading away after a few days, the conversation has continued growing as more users share their experiences and more public information is discussed. Another reason this topic has remained active is because people are trying to understand the timeline. Was this always the direction these organizations were heading, or have priorities changed over time? That's one of the biggest questions still being debated. Some commentators believe recent events simply brought long-standing business relationships into public view. Others argue that circumstances evolved after leadership changes and that today's situation looks very different from what existed in earlier years. At this point, there isn't enough publicly verified information to settle that debate, which is why opinions continue to differ so widely. The timing has also become part of the discussion. Many online users have pointed out that several of these stories appeared within a relatively short period. Reports about fundraising letters, questions surrounding mailing lists, discussions about technology partnerships, and conversations regarding organizational structure all surfaced around the same time. Whether connected or completely separate, the overlap has certainly captured public attention. One thing that's clear is that this conversation extends far beyond a single fundraising appeal. It has evolved into a broader discussion about transparency, organizational communication, technology partnerships, and public accountability. Those subjects affect far more than one organization, which may explain why so many people have become invested in following each new development. Regardless of where someone stands on the issues, many agree that openness and clear communication help build public confidence. Of course, everyone watching will probably reach their own conclusion. Some viewers may believe the reported business relationships are completely ordinary and reflect standard organizational operations. Others may feel the reported connections deserve additional public explanation. Neither perspective changes the importance of reviewing information carefully before deciding what to believe. Stories like this often continue developing over time, and new details can change the conversation in unexpected ways. That's also why it's worth remembering that social media represents only part of the picture. Posts, screenshots, and personal accounts can introduce important questions, but they don't always provide the full context. Looking at multiple sources, considering different viewpoints, and separating verified information from personal opinion helps create a more complete understanding of any complicated issue. As this story continues to develop, many people will undoubtedly keep following each new update to see whether additional information answers some of the questions that have been raised. Until then, much of the public discussion remains exactly where it is today, in the middle of an ongoing debate, with supporters, critics, and curious observers all examining the same events through very different lenses. Now it's your turn to join the conversation. After everything we've covered throughout this series, from the fundraising letters and the questions surrounding mailing lists to the reported business relationships and technology connections, what stands out to you the most? Do you think these reported links deserve closer public attention? Or do you believe there's another explanation that hasn't received enough consideration? Share your thoughts in the comments below. I always enjoy reading different perspectives, and respectful discussions often bring up details that others may have overlooked. If you found this breakdown interesting and want to stay updated as new information becomes available, make sure to like this video, subscribe for more in-depth coverage, and share it with anyone who enjoys following developing stories and public discussions. Thank you so much for watching all the way to the end, and I'll see you in the next one.